In this video, I'm going to show you how to convert fractions to decimals and decimals to fractions. But first, let's look at how to convert fractions to decimals. All you have to do is just divide, and you can use a calculator to help, or you make the denominator a multiple of 10. Let's look at just dividing first. So, if I give you a number, say 4/5, remember, the fraction bar also represents divide. So this is really 4 divided by 5. So we're going to do 4 divided by 5. How many times does 5 go in the 4? 5 can't go in the 4. So we're going to write 0 as our placeholder and then make a decimal. Adding the 0, how many times does 5 go into 40? 5 goes into 40 8 times. So 4/5 converted to a decimal is going to be 0.8. Let's double check that on our calculator. 4 divided by 5 equals 0.8. Now let's look at making the denominator a multiple of 10. Again, using our 4/5, we need to make this 5 somehow into a multiple of 10. We're doing this because we know that 1/10 is equal to 1/10, or 0.1, or 0.1. 1 over 100 is equal to 1/100th, 0.01, or 0.01. 1/1000th is equal to 0.001, or 1/1000th. That's why it's good to get familiar with pronouncing decimals correctly, because it helps you write them in fraction form. So with that being said, we need to get this 5 into a multiple of 10. Now, luckily for us, 5 goes into 10 easily and quickly. We just have to multiply it by 2. So whatever we do to the bottom, we're going to do to the top. So now our answer is going to become 4 times 2 is 8. 5 times 2 is 10. So now we have 8/10, and 8/10 can be written as 0.8, or 8/10. And that's how you convert a fraction to a decimal. Now let's look at converting a decimal to a fraction. You simply write the decimal in the fraction form and then simplify it. So let's say we're given the decimal 0.6, or 6/10. So we write it as 6 over 10 for 6/10. This right here is perfectly fine. We converted this decimal into a fraction. But an important thing to do is simplify. So we're going to simplify this. 6 and 10 are both even, so they can be simplified by 2. There is nothing else that goes into 6 evenly that also goes into 10 evenly. So we're going to divide both of them by 2. 6 divided by 2 is going to give us 3, and 10 divided by 2 is going to give us 5. So 0.6, or 6/10, is equivalent to 3/5. Let's go ahead and do a couple examples. Let's convert 1/2 to a decimal. Let's do it by hand first, making the denominator a multiple of 10. 2 can go into 10 evenly. All we have to do is multiply 2 by 5. Whatever we do at the bottom, we're also going to do the top of a fraction, so that we do not change the overall value of a fraction. So now we're going to get 5. 1 times 5 is 5, all over 2 times 5, which is 10. This is 5/10. So now we're just going to write that as the decimal. This is 5/10. Let's double check that with a calculator. 1 divided by 2 equals 0.5 or 5/10. So that's correct. Now, let's look at something a little trickier. Let's do 3/8. We need to get this 8 as a multiple of 10, but 8 doesn't go into 10 evenly. 8 also doesn't go into 100 evenly, but 8 goes into 1,000 evenly. 1,000 divided by 8 is 125. So what we're going to do is we're going to multiply the bottom by 125 and the top by 125. That's going to give us 375 all over 1,000. Writing that as a decimal, that's going to be 375 thousandths. So 0.375. Double checking with a calculator, we're going to do 3 divided by 8, which is 0.375, so we were correct. Now let's change 0.25 into a fraction. We'll start by writing 25 over 100, or 25 hundredths. Now we have to simplify. Lucky for us, 25 goes into 100 evenly, so we will just divide both the top and the bottom by 25. That is going to give us 1 over 4, or 1/4. So 25 hundredths is equal to 1/4. Now let's try and do 0.55 or 55 hundredths. So we're going to write 55 over 100 and simplify. Both are multiples of 5, so we can start by dividing by 5. Dividing the top by 5 and the bottom by 5 will result in 11 over 20. So 0.55 is equal to 11/20.